Just roll it.
Look, it's working.
Here we are. It's been a while.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Welcome to church.
What's happening, fam? Fam? No?
Fam?
2 mics today. Hello and welcome back to the MD Vodcast. Mic'd up like a pair of players today.
Yep. It has been a hot minute since we've done this, since I sat down and talked about stuff.
Let's roll the intro while I take a sip of this coffee.
Yep, go.
Either a long sip or a quick intro, but here we are. So how are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. Very good.
I'm going to fidget with these mics a little bit just till we work out what our levels need to be.
Yeah.
So this is you on the left here.
Yeah, that's pretty
See
good.
that?
That's pretty good.
So you're quite low.
Am I? Always.
So yeah, always. So I'm going to
Always
try
low.
and sit back. You need to maybe sit forward a bit.
Cool.
But yeah, so how's things, dude? You
Good.
well?
Very good.
All good?
Busy.
It's been a while since we recorded the last one of these, isn't it?
I think it's definitely been over a month,
Yeah. Yeah.
hasn't it?
Yeah. Do you remember it was going to be every other week in 2019?
But I suppose it's kind of testament to when things get in the way.
Yeah.
Like you were doing that video that seemed to.
Last forever. Still not finished it.
Have you not?
Well, it's all the videos edited. I have to go through and do changes now. But it was.
It's always really funny because Dill does this thing whenever he gets really absorbed into something, he kind of disappears like a stray dog.
Yeah.
You talk in like sound bites.
Yeah.
When you're really busy and involved in something, and you could gauge it like straight away that every time you talk to you were like, you would say, all right, what's happening? And you go straight into, I need to organize this. And it's like you were just trying to work it out in your head.
Yeah.
So you got that vibe.
Yeah, I tend, if I'm like off my Instagram stories or not doing a lot or quite quiet, that's because I'm legitimately rammed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only if I'm editing as well. If I'm out and about shooting, I find it a lot easier to record stuff. But if I'm editing, man, I'll just lose like 9 hours.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I've had to turn a desk like almost like permanently into a stand-up desk just to keep me moving around, right? Rather than just sitting in that one place the whole time.
Yeah.
So
So there was that.
there's a lot of mic jig going
A lot
on
of,
here.
like,
Just
movers.
watch your elbow on there, just because I put some little cushions in here on the brackets because we were getting this like bong sort of sound in the last one.
Were we?
So I put some cushioning in there. It should stop it, but it's quite fun seeing the levels because you can actually work out what we're doing and what we're not doing.
Cool.
But it was a bit of a mad month. Like learned a hell of a lot about trying to organize people and like how hard that is. It's one thing organizing a shoot, but when you have all these third parties and like I had like locations and venues and people and actors and other crew, and it was like a big job. And very quickly I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Like I underestimated how hard that would be. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I didn't, maybe I kind of knew what it was, but I thought when I planned it, it was based on like the 3 months that I thought I'd have to do it. And then I ended up with 4 weeks, and I was like, this is insane. And it was 4 weeks of the worst weather ever in this country.
Yeah. Remember the day we went out? It was like
Shocking.
we went out and we only went. Where did we go? The HMS Caroline.
Yeah, I did like the Maritime Mile walk.
And we walked, and it was like I think the windiest day, possibly that I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Like all the water around, the Titanic building had blew out.
Yeah.
Like it was
blowing seawater out of the sea into the city.
And then we were like looking out over at the hills going, I think we've about 10 minutes, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Rain.
Thunderstorms.
And you had to film it like so it looked like summer.
Yeah, have I shown you the footage?
No.
I'll show you the footage after this. It actually came out really, really good, and that's the bit that's great and also painful because people watch it, they don't realize that I stood in the rain, hidden away from the rain for like half an hour, and in a minute it was gone. It's like 5 minutes of sunshine to film the clips. But it came out pretty good in the end.
Sweet.
And I think it's testament to the whole concept of problem solving. For sure.
Absolutely. Cool.
So yeah. So how are you doing, dude? What have you been up to?
A lot, like working a lot, and then I'm kind of I've decided to take on more. I did a documentary in 2001, maybe before then. I did it with my best friend, and it was a cheesy documentary about Belfast, which when obviously you think about a documentary in Belfast, you think about the divide and joining together. So me and my friend were approached to do this, and at the time we went to they'd arranged the thing anyway. We went because it was free food.
Yeah, as you would.
And then we were given $7,500 and asked to make a documentary. Nobody else turned up, so it just turned out to be me and him. I'd never filmed anything. I'd done a bit of photography. I did like our band's music video, but I'd never done anything which was going to be then viewed by anybody else that I cared. Like, you know, strangers. When you do your band's video, you think everything's cool, and you kind of. But this was like.
So I'm saying, yeah. I've never been in a band.
Really?
Yeah, when I filmed my band.
We were touring that time. No, so we did that, and it was like, anyway, it got showed like a couple of things and stuff, but I forgot all about it. I was more interested in doing the music for it because we were in a band. We thought it was going to be our big break, as you do.
Yeah.
And didn't care much about the thing, but the whole process was amazing. Like, I really loved it, and the more I do film, the more I realize that it's just storytelling on another level.
Yeah.
It's other people's stories. So I just wanted to get back into that, and that's what I've been doing. I've been doing my two friends with shooting a documentary with them about them. About them. And I've been doing it. So it was about a show, but it happened, and it was like, what did I say? Like 87 gig of footage, and I have yet to film anyone talking.
Mad, isn't it? It takes it when you're used to doing vlogs and Instagram stories, and then you go and film something like that, and you go, "Holy shit!" Look how much.
I mean, this is still just for me. You know, like when I met them, and like I explained my idea, and I was like, "Yeah, do you want to do this?" And they were like, "Yeah, let's do it." And they were like super on board, really quickly. And then it hit home, was like, oh, I was just going to like, you know, film a wee thing, and now
I was just going to dick about and look at some stuff.
Pretty much, and like and the guy that runs it, he watches my stuff anyway, so I thought, well, he kind of knows what to do. So, but really, and now I put more pressure on myself. I really want it to be good, and I've like really tried. Back to what you were saying about trying to organize people.
Yeah.
Is the freaking hardest thing in the planet. Had it all arranged, shots done, guys couldn't make it, guys' cars weren't going to the show, it's a car show, and they weren't going, and then when I got there was like so you're thinking on your feet, and it felt like it was just filming a wedding, filming waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
And then you're like, do you know when you're on your way home, and you're like, I've got nothing, I can't do it again, it's all over, I've got nothing, this is awful, I hate filming, why am I doing this? And that's happened a lot, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be, I'll do all the interview bits, and then it should be about a month of editing it all together. But
it's such the thing with those sorts of videos, I find as well, especially when if you're filming your own vlogs and videos, it's all you. You know, it's what you're filming, it's what you want to capture, but more importantly, it's what you want to edit and what you want to produce. But the minute you're doing it for somebody else, or even if there's an expectation from anyone else for that sort of stuff, that's where it gets more difficult, because you're like, because especially with filming, you're like, oh god, like if this was just me, I'd be quite happy if I filmed this and this, and then I'd be grand, I'd move on. But because you're filming it for someone else, that's when you start to think, I need to film this extra, but just in case they need that, just in case they need this. And this is where that balance of filming what you need and overshooting. It's so easy to overshoot.
Do you think, like, even I don't know if anyone else has done this, by the way, but like if you've got you film the stuff that you always film, right? And then somebody follows you, or new people follow you.
Like about?
No, like
physically follow you?
No, like
online?
so say online, someone follows you.
Okay.
So at the what they did was they shared that I was then going to be making this.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, keep it down.
I might not pitch up.
But like. So I was like, they said if you want to see behind the scenes stuff, and all of their sort of following sort of came over and sort of followed, and then I started like looking back through all my stuff. Like, do you ever look back through your own stuff through the eyes of someone who's just followed you? Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
It's fucking hell. Like I was like sweating it out, going, no, everyone's going to like.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know. My last story was of a banana. Oh Christ,
like,
that's what they'll judge me on.
But I was so into like filming. I brought like my twin brother, and my friend was there, just helping me lug around stuff. And well, actually, he's in the car, so he wanted to go anyway. And I was like filming a story of the day, and I was like, I forgot that people are watching behind the scenes, and I just filmed at my brother. And I was like, oh, this is all hell. Started to get into that whole thing, but it was pretty intense. But yeah, it's enjoyable. It's like I think it's important to like be able, the ability to reinvent or do something. I think it keeps you on your toes. Yeah. Like, just go into something that you would never normally do and attempt it anyway and see how it goes. So
how do you find dealing with the public? Because this would be the first time, well, in a while at least, that you've shot stuff where it's not just you vlogging yourself, but it's more you capturing an event and you're in an event with quite a lot of people, how do you find the balance of trying to get what you needed, be polite, and then general public walking in and out? Did you get loads of people like doing that awkward thing in the background? You know,
Yeah.
they walk past, they see you, and then they shuffle and they
Yeah.
walk out of shot, and you're like, just chill.
Yeah,
lads.
they did.
You look stupid now.
It was a car show, so like there was loads of people on the ground getting those shiny wheels, you know, those like
yeah.
womp, 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 womp,
Yeah.
shots, that. And every time I set the camera up, and it was just to capture, I wanted to capture, I didn't really want to capture a lot of cars, I wasn't there to capture cars. It was, I wanted to capture like the event, the feel of the event, how it was going. And every time I even produced the camera, 3 or 4 people like stopping their kids and all.
Yeah.
Don't walk in front of his camera. Like it's
Yeah.
all right, fine,
I know,
keep
yeah.
going. I'm just getting like feet.
Yeah,
walking.
if this was a TV set, totally fine.
Yeah, like-
but this is a public area. Carry on with your day.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you were like in pretty much all of the North Coast doing that.
Yeah. It's painful, those sorts of things when that happens, because you get the people who are like super helpful and polite, and they're like, oh no, sorry, going ahead, and you're like, no, legitimately, I actually needed you to walk past the camera.
Yeah.
That was kind of part of it. Now it just looks like it's an empty beach. Can you just carry on? But then there's a time you don't need someone to walk past.
Yeah.
You're like filming a person, and maybe it's against a backdrop, and there's no space for another human being to be.
Yeah.
And they'll walk and try to get through the gap, and you're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, why now? Can't you
Yeah.
walk behind me? So it's getting that.
They're like
balance
unplugging
right.
all your stuff to get past
Yeah,
and all.
stepping over shit, and you're like, and that's where they start to come in, and they're like, they'll be real polite, you know, and then you have to kind of be polite back, but really you want to attack them.
Yeah.
You know, because they're like, oh, sorry about that. What are you doing? And they lean and ask, and I'm just like, go away, just go away. You know,
No idea.
So
But
it
in
is.
the
I
car
find
waiting on
that.
their hand to finish.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing, right? So you're there at an event. So Mark's at this car event, and he's filming his video. And if you're at a car event, I imagine it's very much like the bike shows. That I used to travel to loads of bike shows, and this is where the nibbles thing came from. Was going to these bike shows, and you'd have been there, and there'd been loads of other people all doing the same shit as you. All right? And you go to this thing with this concept in your head, like, I'm gonna produce this piece of content that's gonna be so original. And it's going to be like, you're all for it. The whole way there, you're amped, you're pumped, you get to the event, you get your bag, you walk up, you're like, right, what am I going to do? You're thinking of that shot, and you get down, you get to do your first shot, take your camera out, and then you notice there's a whole bunch of other knobs, just like you.
Yep.
All with their camera, all with the same dream. Everyone's filming, and then you just go, oh, what the fuck?
No, my thing was that I'd borrowed cameras for this, because obviously I'm still going through Cameragate. But I'd borrowed a couple of cameras from friends, so I was like using their cameras, was like learning how to do it, and I had like kind of a setup.
Manual in one hand, camera, switch on,
Google and
turn
Sony.
from auto to manual.
Yeah, that's.
What's the X for on the top of that?
Oh God, I was like, yeah, pretty much. My friend had like lent me his camera the day before, because I was doing a lot of like walking things with the guys, so I wanted something with auto to just track them, because I wasn't sitting.
So you were walking behind them.
Yeah. I'm not in this at all. Like you, I'm not even talking in this.
Okay.
So I was like filming stuff, and then what was worse was whenever you're sitting down with your camera and you think you've got the 11-pound tripods, which are really good.
Which are brilliant. By the way. We've got these Rolly tripods.
So
shout
good.
out to Jake Story for giving us the heads up.
Was that who it was?
Yeah, he sent me a link and he was like, dude,
so good.
You got these like Rolly tripods, which are like 130 quid, and they were reduced to 11 pound in like some Amazon flash sale.
He sent it to me, and I was like, is this your affiliate link? Are you doing a piss take here? And he was like, no, they're genuinely like 11 quid. And then I was like,
I should have affiliate linked it. I sent it.
Should have affiliate link, and then like bought 10 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, I was like setting it with it. I was kind of like working it out, going doing all the clicking and all the stuff, and then I was like, and then of course
the things go in and click out again.
Yeah, but it was really good, and I was real pleased with it. I was setting the camera up, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then of course at those type of shows that you're talking about, there's always the dick with the like. The full friggin' movie on like one of those other things, like in the full rig.
Oh yeah, like the camera cable thing.
There's always that. There's always one of those guys, and then you're kind of like, but it doesn't matter.
That's a huge thing, you know. Like, and I get a lot of this. Like, what would you call it? Camera embarrassment, you know? Kind of like it's like the camera version of standing at a urinal, you know?
Yeah.
You're like that.
Yeah. But then I was watching.
I don't know what that means, by the way.
No, but you're just
No idea
what is it?
You know,
it's not
like,
envy.
No, it's not envy, yeah, because there's no envy going on at urinals, by the way. I'm
No,
not like, would, would I love the side sweep? I'm not looking at anything at a urinal, for the record,
Dear
except
me.
the wall in front of me.
Just.
But like, it's that idea of like, it's a word for that. What is the word? Not insignificance. It's not that. But it's like,
Yeah.
first off, you care too much because you think everyone else gives a shit. But there's this idea that like, if you're there shooting on a handheld rig with an onboard mic, right, or a Gorilla Pod or an 11-pound tripod, and then some bro just like drifts past you with a huge camera like an FS5 and he rocks past and he's got it on a flippin' Movi or a track or some sort of weird rig that looks bigger. There's this assumption from you with the smaller camera that they're doing something better or more important, and you're like,
exactly.
And you're like, oh,
exactly.
Well, but then I'm a huge fan of using small rigs. Like I've got the Ronin S, right? It's great, and it's totally shit at exactly the same time. It's incredible. But the problem is it's such a pain in the ass to set up. And once it's set up, you're like, oh, I might as well just get my money's worth out of this and shoot everything. And then it becomes the most restrictive piece of kit I've ever owned.
Yeah.
Where I love shooting handheld on a gearbox or a small rig, just holding the thing in my hand because I'm quite steady with my hand, so I can get away with it. And the problem is, I'm very comfortable shooting handheld. I like shooting on small rigs. I mean, even the one we're shooting on now is an A6300. And I like shooting on the smaller handheld stuff. And then when I see that, I'm like, oh, I start to doubt the decision. Should I be shooting on a bigger camera? Should I have bought? And then you're like,
you start hiding the name of like the stuff that you've got, like your handheld stuff.
You are a G1 action camera.
Yeah, and you're like, oh no, I don't flip. But it is. I mean, like, I've been really dealing with a lot, like watching a load of different people talking about it, and one of the ones that sort of, for me, he's came out of nowhere, but he's been around for a long, long time from watching all stuff. Was that Mr. Beast? He did the interview with Casey Neistat. He's also done the podcast with H3H3, who I'd watch. I've never really heard this guy.
I just know the name. I don't even haven't watched that Casey video.
Literally, his video content. He'll be sitting in a restaurant and he'll leave a tip of $20,000 on the table.
Standard.
He's that type of guy. So I was like, oh, this is like one of those stupid channels that I have zero interest in. But then when he started talking, I was realizing he's built up real sizable audience not very fast. He's been doing this like 2012, and he was talking about his audience, and he said he built up his first 100,000 followers, first 100,000 subscribers with an iPhone 5. And I was like, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
But the difficulty is, and this is where whenever I'm talking to people and they say like, oh, just shoot with what you've got. And you want to be all noble and be like, yeah, just shoot with what you've got. But the difficulty with that is, and this is what I'm learning, is that if you've used good stuff and then you've got to use your phone, you realize, like, we use our phones for Instagram stories. You would not rock up to do that thing that you were filming for the tourist board with your phone.
I would.
But you could. But what I'm trying to say is, it depends where it's going. I always think like
I used phone clips in the tourist board.
Yeah, but you've lumped them in.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, you used
hidden.
Yeah, but if you've went to that stage of using not like not super massive gear, but if you've used your cameras and your wee rig that you're kind of used to, and you've built sort of like what your kind of style that you've got, to go back is so difficult. I think if you were starting again, you could go, I'll do it on my phone.
I actually think it's harder to do that if you forget the reason why you're making the video. So I actually love just having my phone. I trip up more when I've got my camera gear, because like my camera rig there, like that gear that I've got in my bag, I've got like stupid ass. Like, see the lens I had to decide to shoot this on. What lens should I shoot on? Because I've got all these different choices, and that is just the 28 to 70 mil kit lens that I got on the A7 III, and it's a full frame lens, and I'm shooting it on a crop sensor because I've got that one works. That's cool. I can't be bothered faffing and getting this all, because the nice thing about the phone is you've just got that one focus, a fixed focal range, and then you've got a bit of zoom to play with. And for me, I quite like that, because if it makes me think more about what I'm doing and less about what I'm doing it with. Yeah. I get really I get really tripped up whenever I've got loads of gear, because then I get into what lens, and it ends up with that Ronin nonsense. Like, I've bought that Ronin S, and it was mostly for that tourist board work I was doing, because I was doing a lot of walking and tracking people. And then the other day I was filming some stuff for a car company, and I was filming these commercials for them, and I had the Ronin, I was doing this, and then I couldn't get the other shots that I wanted. And it's hard. It's okay if you're like running the time in it, but then because I'm working on their time schedule and they're sort of standing with me, I'm got this like limited window to get the shots. And by the time I've got them all, I'm like, well, I really want to do go around this whole thing again handheld. But then you're duplicating a lot of shots. You're spending a lot more time. And again, it's kit that's tripped me up.
Yeah.
Whereas before I owned that Ronin, I still filmed stuff for them. And I knew what my limitations were. And I shot it handheld and I got the clips that I wanted. So it's getting that balance right of getting new tech and camera gear to enhance what you do, but also not letting it
Absolutely.
stop you, because I find it trips me up more often.
And that's what I was saying. Like, whenever I arrived up to do the documentary stuff, I was using borrowed cameras with one lens. I had one choice of one lens. I had a 50mm and a 25mm prime. I had no zooms, and that's all I had to do the whole thing with. And I had no choice because it was like.
So what lenses did you have? Sorry.
25mm and a 50mm Canon on a Metabones for a Sony, which I used.
Well, you're indoor, can't. Yeah, it's fair enough.
It worked
but
out.
Still,
It gave a good look, but it made you kind of have to think. So whenever the bro walks around with the thing, and you're like, it's good to be able to go, well, you know what? Because when you see what they're shooting, you realize I wasn't doing that anyway.
Yeah, no, that's exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
it.
Like, I mean, I'm not there for. I wasn't. If I was there to film cars, I would be more like what you're saying. I'd know my limitations. I know what I could film. I wouldn't be doing big swooping panning shots anyway. I was just filming the guys. I'm telling their story, so I could have filmed it technically on a phone. I just like the look that a bigger camera would give me, and it's. Whenever you go to do something like that, and again, there's more eyes on, you want to be able to have a bit more control about what it looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It's more about what it like. That's what I said about that dude, Mr. Beast. He got 100,000 subscribers on a iPhone 5.
That's mad,
so
isn't
it goes to show you, like, it really is irrelevant. But it's great. It's dead noble. Like, sitting going, it doesn't matter what you film. But it does for me. Like, I know I don't have, I'm not using my camera at the minute, and I was like, I'll just use your phone. It's like, yeah, I could, but I know the wee accelerometer meter, it's the thing that keeps the camera level. On mine's broke, so if I move mine, it just goes and shakes.
Oh, really?
So I'm doing a lot more still. So it's like, yeah, I could, but gear's an interesting one.
Yeah.
You could really get down a rabbit hole and sit and think, like you carrying a bag full of tons of stuff, and be like, well, you end up don't film anything.
I've got this on a slider. You walked in today and you were like, ooh, slider. And the only reason I'm using the slider for this shot that's not moving at all is because the slider was on yesterday. And I couldn't be asked to take it off. Yeah. Because I've owned that. That's like a small, like 1.5 foot long slider. And I owned that for like 3 years. And I bought it because I was like, I definitely need a slider. And then it was the most annoying thing to own. Yeah. Because it's a pain in the ass to use. Mm-hmm. See, to set it up, by the time you set the thing up and to get it balanced, it's like you really need two sort of like light stand bits to really get it stable. Yeah. And then the Ronin S does that like in 2 seconds. But what I was using it for yesterday was I had this like mock studio thing built in here yesterday. I was shooting product shots, and I had the slider sitting vertically, and I had the camera sitting 90 degrees from the slider, and I just loosened the bolts ever so slightly, just so there was a bit of movement, and then was shooting the camera tracking down. Nice. Like on a macro lens to a product. So I got this amazing like crane jib shot. And I was like, finally a use for the slider. And it's a piece of kit that I bought thinking I definitely was going to use. And every time I've used it apart from yesterday, it's been a pain. So I love that idea of using something like a phone because it's super limiting. Mm-hmm. Now, I just got back from Toronto. So I took a flight out to Toronto with my friend Ryan to go and hang out. And the reason I was going out there was to meet up with a guy called Donna, who I've kind of got to know through YouTube and Instagram. Donna did it. He'll do the links. If you don't know who he is, he's a tech reviewer and tutorial guy. He does amazing videos. But when I met him, we were like on very similar numbers on YouTube. And he's grown like insanely over the last year and a half. He's on almost 50,000. I think he's like 46,500 subs. So, but his videos are really, really, really good. Like they're very informative. They're very like well thought out, and they're great. Now, when I was over shooting with him, he was doing some vlog stuff, and he had 2 camera bodies and a bunch of different lenses. I was shooting stories and taking photos, and then kind of bodging a vlog together. But what was great about him is he shoots on an A6400 Sony and an A6500, and he doesn't shoot any full frame. And I loved that. I was like, this is so cool that you're just shooting on the APS-C sensor, because everyone's got this idea of full frame.
Yeah.
And people always say to me, do you not think full frame? It's not like, I have a full frame, the A7 III is full frame.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great, and it's got loads of benefits, but I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care. And I was like, it's liberating to see someone like him just be like confidently say, I prefer shooting on the smaller sensor.
Yeah.
Like he chooses. He could go up, but he chooses not to. He's got good lenses for this, and but he likes it. And I was like, I think it's great, because a lot of people fall into this trap of feeling they need to buy a full frame because it's full frame.
Yeah.
And he's shooting amazing stuff on the APS-C, and I just thought that was cool, because it's such a small body and it's such a small little rig, and it's so cool for that. And I just thought, like, that's great, because that's just somebody doing what they want to do.
And also,
and
like, you don't
doing it his way.
You never watch one of Donna's videos and go,
Typical crop sensor.
typical. Absolutely. I've got nothing from this video because
Yeah.
it's not on a full frame.
Well,
It's
I
like,
feel, yeah.
It's like, I will not like this guy because he, like, you don't think that. Like, I think that's my point. Like, it really is just what you're shooting. It really is what you're doing or what you're trying to get across. I think, like, only people who are into gear worry about what the gear is, not like, and this is the second podcast we have talked about gear.
And this is not a podcast about gear.
And this is not a podcast about gear. How weird.
But, like, the gear thing is fun. Gear is fun. Like, I love, it sounds like we're talking about gear.
Actual gear, yeah.
Like,
a bag.
actual gear, yeah. But, like,
Straight up and
it's
nose.
not, it is good fun, but it's just getting that balance right. And I think it's like, that's where it trips you up. But,
I think half the time, I think it's just an excuse.
oh, yeah.
Half the time it's like when someone goes like, "Oh, someone will say like, oh, they're starting a YouTube channel. Why have you not started?" Yeah, well, I was waiting till I got this and what that there, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's an excuse.
Get it done.
Absolutely, and I'm talking to myself as
Yeah.
well. Half of it's an excuse. Half of it's like, I overthink things or whatever it is, and I just think the gear thing's an absolute excuse. Even us sitting doing this, we did this without all this.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
now we've got it. You kind of feel like when
this
it's
is
not.
literally just for fun. No?
Yeah, like, but it is what it is. I think it's more important just to be like, because like what I was saying like, is whenever someone new follows you, that you kind of either respect or you kind of realize there's eyes on you, and you go back and look through all your stuff to think, oh, is it good enough?
Yeah.
Whatever. You don't think, oh, I should have shot it on a better camera.
Yeah.
Or you just
just
look at it
grateful
for
it's all in
what it
focus.
is, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's just get out and do it. I'm finding it very liberating at the minute, just to make shit I want to make.
Yeah.
I really love it. It's like
It's that part of the show as well now where we give a shout out to our sponsor, Squarespace, for...
I wish we had a
Oh,
sponsor.
I was thinking. Right at the end, I was just thinking Squarespace. I have no idea why. But you're right. Yeah, dude, I think it's that whole concept of story.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what makes it work. Like, I did that vlog from Canada, and I was pissing myself laughing at it at the end, because a lot of it was shot. Now, I just took one camera, so I was like, what camera am I taking to Toronto?
You took a camera to do video and photo?
To do it, yeah.
Right,
and I was
yeah.
like, do I take the A63, which is the one I would have taken had I not dropped it like 5 times. So you know that amazing Rolly tripod? I was using a monopod the other day, filming like in a skate park, like this competition. And I jumped up a ramp. Now, it was a scooter competition, so all the kids were like below that height. They were all like
5.
ages maximum 16, but most of them were like around 12. And there was this kid, this pro scooter rider called Jordan Clark. Unbelievable. But so they were all a bunch of little kids, right? And there's me, man in his 30s, walking around filming the shit, okay? Mm-hmm. And it was incredible filming it. And then I was walking along with this monopod, and I jumped up on the ramps. I used to ride bikes, so I'm pretty confident in a skate park.
Yeah.
Like just walking up and down transitions and ramps. Jumped up a ledge about that high, right? For those of you listening, it's about 1.5 feet.
Yep.
Clipped both feet. Like I jumped up like a box jump, holding my camera on
Brilliant.
the end of a monopod. Jumped up, clipped both feet on the ledge, and just smashed the camera into the ground. Right, and then I had all, but like in front of literally the entire place. And this little like this little kid goes, "Are you all right, mister?"
Your camera's in bed. You want a hand? Never mind the camera, my hip.
You see an old person fall in the street, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
Oh,
That
it's
was
a
the
lot.
look.
It's a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, he gave me that look. You know, like, "Oh god, that old dude's fallen." So then, but I did that thing of you just get up. You know, like it's totally fine. This happened. I'm up. Camera was supposed to. Those bits were supposed to come off.
Pamela,
There was little bits of plastic. Like,
meet me at the back. I'm really hurt.
I'm fine. I was always bleeding. So I got up and I just like hopped onto my feet, all like, oh, I'm good. You're right, mister. Oh yeah. And then I just walked off, right? I looked at the camera. There was bits of like plastic missing from the camera, and the screen was like going. And then I switched it off and switched it on, and nothing happened. But I just carried on in my distance of where I was going to film my next shot, so that anyone who saw thought, oh, he must be grand. You know when you drop the phone, it's one of those things. So I just walked up like, in my mind, I was like, my camera's fucked. But on the outside, I was going, totally grand. Walked up and goes, and I think I'm going to have to go home now.
Yeah.
So I walked over, pointed to the camera, and unclipped the battery, turned around, footed about, took it all apart, put it all back together, and then it worked. And I was like, God. So that's like the third time I've dropped out. So I thought, what camera do I take to Toronto? I'd love to take that because it's small, but I didn't want it to cock up while I was out there. So I took the A7 III, which is great. But it wasn't really set up for how I vlog. I didn't really set it up properly. The audio levels were a bit shit. But it was because it's mostly for photography and like my professional video work that I do.
I watched your video. I did not know that.
It came out okay.
I like
Some of
that.
the audio levels I heard dipped, but then what I did is I bodged in a load of like phone clips that I was filming just like every now and then with like, can you bother taking the camera?
I like that.
And then I squashed, like stretched vertical video from stories to fill the frame. It was amazing. I watched back and I thought, do you know what?
Philip Bloom would be proud.
Yeah, exactly. So you've taken a vertical video, Dylan. And force-fed it into a horizontal type thing.
Yeah, that was good. It turned out well.
But for me, it was one of those examples where I was like, do you know what? None of this.
Not matters.
The only thing that is interesting about that video, most disliked video on my YouTube ever.
We had this conversation.
So, had a chat. What are we at? We got about, 10 minutes here, 5 minutes? Had a theory about that, right? It came up, and as I uploaded it, boom, dislike immediately. So somebody on my YouTube, some git, just subscribes to dislike, which is fine. At least they have notifications switched on. So they must be like, oh, Dylan's uploaded a dislike. Before it's even got a view, boom, dislike. And I just laughed at that. So I did a story on my Instagram laughing about it, kind of making a joke. And most people didn't get the joke and thought I was legitimately being serious about being annoyed. But what was funnier is when I put that story up, it got a whole load of more dislikes. So either there's a bunch of them out there winding me up, or people subscribe to your YouTube to dislike you, but then also people are on your Instagram who maybe don't like you.
Just nosy. Yeah,
and they're
absolutely.
like, oh, he's annoyed that we've disliked.
But do you not think, like,
John, get on his YouTube and dislike that video.
But the jokes on, like, the things on them,
yeah.
it still counts as interaction.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's the bit I don't understand. It's like, with that, it's like, they dislike your video, and for you, you're sitting like, obviously you were crying.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like,
selling all my gear on eBay just because I thought, what's the point?
Like, flip me, paid for that whole
Frozo
trip.
46 just disliked my video on YouTube.
A plane journey with no food or windows that whole time. That whole time. And just people didn't like it, but they've still interacted. It makes no difference. It would have been different if they went down the comments and actually wrote their feedback. Yeah. I just think if you're going to dislike something, give me the feedback.
I don't get the dislike thing. I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand why it doesn't come up who it is, because so people can stand by their thing. It's like if you dislike it, fine. If you dislike, I wouldn't dislike a video on YouTube. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't like it. But I'd only dislike a video on YouTube if it was wrong. Or if it was like...
I don't even think I've
like,
ever
like if someone came on and
video.
like, this camera is totally shit because it doesn't do this. And I'd be like, well, actually,
I'm sitting
it
here
does.
like, YouTube Jesus. I don't think I've ever disliked the video. I think what I've probably done is if I really dislike or some videos really like annoyed me, I'll write exactly what like my thoughts on it is.
Or
Like,
get really angry and share on Twitter.
Yeah, well, yeah. But like, I don't think I've ever like disliked. I don't see the purpose.
No.
I'm a big feedback guy. I would like. I mean, it's the same. I try and surround myself with people who are happy to give feedback.
Yeah.
Like, like if I put a video up, you'll be like, oh, I like that video, and I'll do the same with you. And it's kind of like I like to think that I'm honest enough to say if I would say to you, like if I can't work out why people didn't like it, other than it's either jealousy or they just dislike you, or they're trolling you.
That's the thing. Though. I think it's more just like why sometimes you just don't like someone.
But that's
and like
fine.
someone just doesn't like you. And it's like I think it's just
I get it. I'm a twin. There's a lot of people hate my brother, and they dislike me by association. I'm joking. People like it's the other way around. But yeah, like I get it. People just don't like you. People don't have to like you. But I think it's a weird one. It's a weird one. So are you over it? Are you cool with it?
I'm all right now. Yeah. I'm seeing a therapist once a week.
Brilliant.
A YouTube specific therapist.
Absolutely.
They deal in dislikes.
Peter McKinnon.
No. He wouldn't have me.
Nah, I wouldn't.
But yeah, that's where we've got to with
Cool.
that. But hey, that worked. We've come around. Do you know what scares me about doing this in Audition, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Is that you can delete it very quickly.
I've never used Audition.
Like once
Ever?
we stop it, if you accidentally just hit delete, it's gone. Or like if it crashes or the battery goes flat, kaput, el gono. Spanish for gone.
I listened to a couple of podcasts who use this, and they always start the podcast by going, "This is our 7th attempt." They're like,
We're trying to use Audition again.
"Yep."
The amount of videos I had to Google to work out how to get the two microphones.
Because I think last time we were doing this, it was some weird patch from somewhere.
In a
odd.
nutshell, what it was is I've got a new USB-C MacBook Pro, right, with a dongle on one side. Mm-hmm. Now the dongle plugs into both USB-C ports. Mm-hmm. But if you plug two USBs into the dongle,
It only reads one?
It only reads one. And I think that's because like the USBs go into the one port and the USB-Cs go into the other port or something like that. So effectively it's only reading one port.
Okay.
So I had to plug it in with the Apple dongle on this side, on the other side of the MacBook, and that seems to have worked.
There
There
we
you
are,
go.
all dongled up.
So we could have downloaded some illegal terroristic, is that a
Terroristic?
word? Terroristic patch.
That's the name of this podcast.
Yeah, the terroristic patch. I could have downloaded that patch
Yeah.
and then riddled my computer with viruses, but I
Exactly.
didn't. I just watched another video.
Adverts for
Yeah.
all sorts popping
yeah,
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going down pop-ups.
No.
Not after
I'm not talking about it.
pop videos on YouTube last
I'm not
time.
talking about it.
Spot pops. Right. That was good fun. I enjoyed that.
It was good to be back.
Got very serious, but
Did get very serious, but it was it's an interesting topic. It's always one I always really genuinely enjoy seeing how other people find the whole, not the gear. I don't like gear conversations. They always bore me. I don't put any value on gear. I use whatever I've got and just do it. But it's the story. But it always intrigues me what we were talking about. How do you cope with whenever the bro walks in with the full rig? Do you like go back into your shell? Oh, help.
Yeah.
I can't do this. Or like whenever there's new eyes on you, does it make you feel like, it kind of makes you feel a wee bit insignificant, like you're nothing?
Yeah.
But they're following you because your stuff's decent.
Yeah.
That's why they followed you, but you kind of like put that self-doubt in your head.
and also if you see someone shooting on a small rig, like if you are there with a camera and then some guy rocks up with a phone and he's doing it right, you're like, oh shit.
I see
That dude's mega confident shooting that on the phone.
This is no joke. I was filming a wedding, and there was another wedding happening in the other room, and it was being filmed on a G7X,
Oh really?
point and shoot.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a few guys do
Looked
that.
out for the video. Video was brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
But when I was there, I was like,
Yeah, are you filming that?
"Are you
on
filming
that
that
camera? On
point
your
and
Graham's
shoot?
camera.
How much did you charge for that? £3?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all these things, which is
And the bro just
totally.
delivers this absolute banger.
Mine
and
looks
you're
like
"Oh,
pure.
right.
I had drone shots, and mine looked like pish
All out of
compared to
focus,
his.
crashed the drone.
The audio's all out of sync and everything. But like, yeah, so it goes to show.
Yeah.
It's doable, totally doable. I don't know how we got on that topic, dude, but I
MD
enjoyed that.
Vodcast, where gear doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, that's us done for now. Thanks very much for listening. If keep an eye on Mark's channel for the no pressure, but
No
whenever
pressure.
the video comes
It'll be
out.
on my YouTube. I'm just
Yeah.
going to launch it on my YouTube, nothing else.
Launching in 2019 at some point.
It will.
And until the next time, yeah, we'll see you later. Oh, right. So in typical MD fashion, what we've done is nail one thing and then completely cock something else up.
And this is the bit we kind of nailed, the audio, but we've totally messed up the video. So,
To date, our video's been great and our audio's been absolute garbage. But this
Yeah.
time the audio's good and the video's shit.
like there is two of us. One should work on the audio, one should do video.
That's what we'll do next time. So basically, the camera shut off after 30 minutes, and we lost the last 30 minutes
Sorry.
of footage. So sorry that you had to watch a screenshot of us for the 9 minutes doing that. But we're only 11 episodes in. Just because it's taken us 14 years to do this.
Yeah,
11
yeah,
episodes
absolutely.
doesn't
But,
mean we're professional. So
anyway,
anyway, thanks for
apologies.
watching, and
We'll work on it for next time.
catch
Promise. Bye.
us later.
Bye.